Hi, this is Geeks Assembled, and or should I say, Konnichiwa. This is Geeks.
Konnichiwa.
We are reviewing today a 1985 movie that has been in my collection since 1985, Vampire Hunter D. This movie is incredibly cool. It's back in 1985, they called it, oh, you can't read that. It says Japanimation, but in modern parlance, it's called anime. And it's the story of a vampire hunter and some people who need his help because there's a big bad situation in Japan. Anyway, it's a great story, and I have recommended it for this cast. And so, because I really want to find out what people who've never seen it think about it. What was your opening thoughts, Jake?
I'm a huge vampire fan, so I was really looking forward to it going in. And I haven't really watched that many animes. The only other anime I've watched, funnily enough, is Castlevania, that also has vampires in. I quite enjoyed it. It was an interesting story, beautiful, beautiful character designs. But the only thing I didn't really like is what I touched upon on our call yesterday. Is I thought the vampires were a little bit too rapey, and it got a bit uncomfortable for me in some scenes, especially when one's character's breast happened to be pulled out from upon her top. I was like, oh, there's boobies in this. Okay. And there was a lot in this film, more than I'd like in this film, but apart from that, it was a decent story. Nothing amazing, nothing to blow me away, but it was a good old vampire hunting down big bad vampire who didn't look like any of the other characters. They didn't even like, with anime, they usually look like Oriental, like Japanese or Chinese, whatever country the animation is made into, except the main vampire. The main vampire looked like English, you know what I mean, like European. I was like, oh, that sort of threw me off a bit. I'd rather have him looked in the same style, if that makes sense. But those are my opening thoughts.
Thank you. And then we'll go to Craig and like I just like to
David hasn't watched it.
Yeah, I not exclude David, but you know,
I understand what you're saying. Yes,
we'll just move that quadrant of the screen.
I got it.
You can sit there and look good.
Right? Yeah, I'll just sit and look good like the sandwich in Subway. No, you're going to be the main protagonist in this pod thing.
Well, I think our leader Lee has got a lot to answer for this movie, considering the gratuitous violence, boobies.
Yeah, was he abreast of the matter?
But Flesh Gordon is a no-no.
Right.
I think we need to go to a proper debate about this.
Yeah, I second that.
You would have loved this, David. This was a fantastic film, and I think it is like a mashup of Castlevania meets Ghouls and Goats on the Super Nintendo. There was like, you had Dimpies, you had demons, you had ghouls, everything you can think of in one animation. It was great. That's my opening thought.
Fantastic. And then we'll ride the horse over to Hall, to Lee. And what did you think of this Vampire Hunter D?
Well, I know Jake said it was a bit too, too many boobies and a bit rapey, but this anime was quite tame compared to other anime that I've seen, from the manga things. If Legend of the Overfiend, Devilman, Crying Freeman, those have a hell of a lot more. And you really would open your eyes. It was enjoyable, yeah. I do like a good vampire tale, and this was one of them. Yeah, what Jake said about the main vampire villain, he looked like a European because the elder vampire was Dracula. They prayed to Dracula. So he must have been a descendant of Dracula, the main.
Like my mum's ex.
There you go. But it's the way they used the colour, the way they used, say the drawing of the characters, and so the action scenes just look so brilliantly, so brilliantly done. And then when you add the redness of the blood, it's just, you just stand there, you watch it in awe. I mean, this was 1985. I mean, this is based on a book series, isn't it, Susan? Yeah, I mean, that's all I know about it. I know it's based on a book series, and they made this into a movie. But yeah, I mean, I did like the main character, Vampire Hunter D. D standing for his
Dolores.
his species of vampire, wasn't it?
Deirdre.
I mean, I did say it quite a few times, but I can't remember what it was called now. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was nothing outstanding, but it is good to watch, and it wasn't too long. It didn't drag. It was easy to follow the story because some anime you sit there and you're thinking, what the hell is going on? But this one, from beginning to end, it was quite easy to get the plot and understand and know which characters was who as well. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed watching this. It's the first time I've seen this, to be honest. So always go with suggestions. So this is one of them, apart from Craig's suggestions, because they always go in the bin. Back to you, Susan.
Thanks. Yeah, so there were so many redeeming things about this story and about the beautiful about the anime of that time. It was it was in its infancy, but yet it had already developed into sort of a stylistic thing, and the music was incredible, and the story itself was really dark and eerie, and the acting was brilliant. The voice acting done by the English speakers, because um, I have the English speaking version. I haven't ever actually watched the Japanese speaking version. Um, it is said that it's for mature audiences. And so, I mean, it does. You do know that in many anime there are they like a little bit of what they call fan service, and it's basically some sort of nudity or some sort of upskirt or something like that. That's par for the course. I mean, that is pretty much in every single solitary anime, and the story it's fun. It's got a couple great battle scenes with like mist monsters and squiggly things and all sorts of gooey things, and I really like those. So and I like I love the flowy bits where vampires are trying to woo another victim. The and the fight scene between the father and son was also, or the father and uh, Vampire Lee. Hang on a sec. And that's another fun thing, is that the vampire, the the main vampire was called, his family was called Lee. So our fearless leader over here. Anyway, so yeah, dramatic, fun, and very eerie. So, favorite moments, Craig?
I liked the opening scene, especially when you can hear that familiar sound effect that they nicked off of Masters of the Universe, or vice versa,
Yeah.
from the key sound effect.
Oh, right.
I liked the location stuff was good, but I liked when people were getting their comeuppance in the film as well. That was really satisfying. The main battle at the end was great. But I think my favourite bit was when he entered the main castle, and was going from like level to level, just defeating whatever came in the way, sort of thing. And that was just really good, and it was easy to follow. And yeah, that's my favourite scene.
Sorry.
Jake, what's your favorite moments, please?
Like,
My favourite moments. Oh Christ Almighty! I like a bit at the beginning with the big bad vampire, and he's standing against the moonlight, and it's like this big, tall, huge thing. I thought it was really. I like shots like that. It's like what I like. It's the same thing that I like with like the old Batman comics, where you see him like stand at all shoulders and head. I like shots like that. They really interest me. But the one thing that I didn't like about this film is at the begin and the end when they go on this really long dragging shot of him riding along on his horse. Oh, I was sitting there like, they could have cut that down a little bit. I thought that was a little bit extreme. Just going on. The beginning was at least 3 minutes of him just trotting along on his horse. I'm like, they could have cut that down by at least 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a good. For what it was good. I'd have preferred personally to watch it in Japan with the Japanese speakers and English subtitles. That's how I like to watch anime. But the English, like Susan said, the English speakers are good, and it was an all-round quite decent film if you like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and it becomes a little more cost prohibitive to buy your anime all in Japanese with English subtitles. That becomes quite, what is it, $50 a movie or something? It's crazy. Anyway, back. Let's go back to Lee and find out what our chief vampire Lee thinks
Um,
of the thing. Favorite.
well, you know, the main character, Vampire Hunter. I got when I was watching, I got the feeling he was sort of designed to be like a Clint Eastwood character. You know, like riding the plane on his horse, and I think that's what Jake at the end of the movie. He was just riding off into the sunset, and that's what Clint Eastwood used to doing to all those spaghetti westerns. Just ride off into the man with no name. He'd saved the town, and he's gone on to the next one. What I liked about this was the scene. I can't remember the character's name, but the villain, one of the villains, where if you stab him, you get stabbed. He time manipulates the the fight thing. That was good. He stabbed him, and then the vampire hunter, he felt the pain and the blood and all. That was quite good. That was a great idea. That I like the three sisters scene as well. Yeah, they're just singing sisters, and then all of a sudden they turn into these like the headed serpent things.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit Macbethish,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really. It was well, maybe it is because these sort of things are ideas. Even Japan steal ideas from other cultures and make it their own sort of legends. But yeah, it was brilliant that, and as I say, and as the big bad count got his comeuppance as well, that was quite interesting where to go.
It sounds like
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, back to you, Susan.
Yeah, the scenes that really stand out to me are the scenes of the battle scenes, like the amount of weird things that he has to fight just to get to the vampires is amazing. Like the three sisters, like the Mist Monster, like like all the squiggly things, like as he's moving through the castle. Yeah, those I mean, yeah. So, and the fact that he's kind of like they always want like a certain other show that we're going to talk about later. They sometimes like to make things about uh, unions between humans and supernatural creatures. Like that has always been sort of a trope. And D is a union between Dracula and a human female. And Doris was a there. No, not Doris. The daughter of Lee was between Lee and another human female, and so like that kind of thing happens a lot, and I mean that's kind of what Blade is about in a way, and the fact that they fight in the daytime and they fight at night and everything, that's fun. I mean, it there is at this point in anime, there is no real vampire lore. That's kind of developed through like Rosario Vampire and a bunch of other ones. Uh, what is it called? Uh, Vampire Knight University or Vampire Knight School. Um, anyway, they develop a lore later, but this is like just sort of freeform, and it's fun, and it does. Yeah, you're right, you guys. It does borrow a lot from European vampire culture and stuff, and that's fun too. Okay, so open portion. What would you guys like to? Anything else you'd like to say?
Um, I think this is a fair sort of anime that, vampire wise, that I've seen with the hand, and
Yeah,
the mouth,
Uh-huh.
and the eye, and it's a talking hand as well. That was that. I didn't expect that, but that was a great scene, unexpected scene. I thought, wow, that's imagination there.
But they're in Pan's Labyrinth, wasn't it? An
Yeah.
eye in the hand, so like,
Going
yeah.
in the gate, they had an eye in the hand.
Okay, right, there you go. I saw. Yeah, like you say, it's like Susan said, the things are getting borrowed all the time. By the way, the actual title is that Gerald Scott, who did the Vampire Hunter D, the writing artwork.
I don't know.
It looks like he's kind of still. I think.
He sounded like Liam Neeson from Taken
Okay.
in the version I watched, but it wasn't him.
No, it was
Good as a
someone
fan.
called Michael McConnell.
Just the Liam Neeson from Family Guy would be best. Like, Flex.
All right. And do we need to have a discussion about nudity in anime?
No,
It's
because
an
you
art,
get
it's
it
an
all
art
the time.
form. It's an art form.
Okay.
I mean, as Susan mentioned, you will every anime I've seen, you'll always get a upscale image, and you got this one straight away at the beginning of the movie when she was hunting that beast. She was running along in the grass, and all you could see was upper skirt.
Yep.
But the Japanese,
Yeah,
And there was a big guild
that's the way they make these things.
Yep.
You wouldn't be allowed to do it in this country,
Mm.
but it's different cultures.
Very.
Yeah.
It's strange.
So yeah, that his hand friend, whatever, the one he actually saved his life,
Mm.
and it is really you can see it in other things, but that's a really cool thing. Okay, if that's everything, we should probably rate this thing and do our final say. So let's go back. Let's go back to Jake first for your final say and score.
Like I said, it was decent enough. This is the sort of thing I'd like to see continued or adapted by Netflix for a series. But so I'm gonna give it 7 boobies out of 10.
All right, and then we'll go to Jake. Or I mean, then I'll go to Craig. I just went to Jake.
It was really easy to follow it. There was a lot of things happening. It didn't drag on at all, so I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Cool.
No one has said.
Very good. And then we'll go to Lee. Also Jake.
We're all Jake here. For something I've never seen before, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and as I said earlier, it was really easy to understand and follow. So for me, yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 red blood cells out of 10.
Okay. Well, because I have loved this movie for 15 years, 25 years,
35 years.
35
He's
years.
35 years old. Wow.
Wow.
Anyway, a long time. I will give it a 10. I'll give it 10 mist monsters out of 10. I was so taken by the mist monsters in this viewing. I like they were really really cool. Like anyway.
I like the ginger one.
Yeah.
You don't get many ginger vampires.
Craig's into ginger.
Anyway, like thanks for watching Vampire Hunter D. Please continue to enjoy the rest of anime. We have started, thanks to Ethan, who isn't here today, but he's a very big anime fan. We've started to include a lot of anime in our podcast, and we encourage you to have a look-see around our playlist, and also subscribe to our channel and hit the bell for the notifications, and also follow Lee on Instagram because that would be all right. No.
Who will it be?
Okay. Well, you can follow Craig and Lee and Jake and me and everybody else on Instagram. If you want, but you can actually.
Don't Facebook me.
I would probably join our Facebook group if you wanted to let us know what you think of all of the stuff that we do. And by all means, share this widely. And thank you, fellas, for joining me and to discuss one of my favorite anime of all time.
Thanks for the memory.
We're gonna stop recording.